The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, this is Ken Gage, and this is the Art of Politics, the only show of its type, because what we do is we, as a good Democrat, we argue with the bad Republicans, and our bad Republican today, who really is a pretty good guy, is John Burt. He also has a TV show up in Golfstown, so yes. Hello to Golfstown. And you are a representative, obviously.
Yes, I am.
And here we are again.
Yes,
This is going to be the John and Ken show. Where's Al?
Well, what did you do with Al? Did you scare him off or something?
I love this guy. He calls and he goes, he says, he says, well, I'm not going to be there. I called John. He'll be there. I says, well, where are you going? He says, I'm going on a ship. I says, what are you talking about? You're on a cruise. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I guess he's going up to Mount Washington.
Well, it's Belknap GOP is having an event on the Mount Washington on the lake. Or is it the Mount Washington? What do they call that boat?
That's the Mount Washington, yeah.
Yes.
No, the Washington, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm sure someone will scream it over there.
Yeah.
Mount Washington.
It is Mount Washington.
Mount Washington. Okay. We have that. Thank you, God.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have gods in here. So anyway, Al said that
Well, so I guess he's going to rub elbows and
With who?
Oh, all the who's who will be up there.
Who's who in Belknap County?
Well, no, they'll bring in a couple presidential candidates.
Give me one.
I don't know who's up there. Give me one. Well, how many? Well, we only have 70 running on the Republican side.
The perfect one is Ted Cruz.
Oh yes, yeah.
Cruz, boat. I'm sorry, I had to do that.
Governor Walker.
Yeah, walk on water.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Now there is Governor Christie, and I used to like Christie a lot. Because I just like the way he...
How you rub it, Republicans are absolutely nuts. You have no one to run for the presidency. Cruz is nuts.
Out of these...
He is, listen, I'm telling you right now, if he gets in there, everyone's going to be a Christian. I swear to God, everybody's going to be a Christian.
And what's wrong with that?
Oh, well, there are some Jews, and there's some Hindus, and there are some...
But don't they believe in God?
No. Everybody's going to be a Christian.
But don't they believe in God?
Well, yes, but okay. One religion. No, anyway.
I don't think we're going to have one religion.
Walker is... What's so good about him?
He can win.
Walker can win?
Yes.
How can he win?
Don't quote me on my numbers because I've been waiting.
I'm writing the numbers down.
I have called his campaign, and they are getting me the numbers, the correct numbers. So the next time I'm on the show, I'll have them.
What are the numbers?
In his special election, he had $35 million in his kitty.
Yes.
The unions, the bad unions that just want to kill America, they had 200 and something million. And he won. Well, if your candidate Hillary Clinton wins, she's going to have $2 billion, And think about all the money that could feed starving children in this country.
Oh, my
And she
God.
is-
Oh, hold on a second. No, it was the Republicans who got, what is it? What are they? The PACs that made them legal. Also,
Which you guys enjoy. And I don't think it was just us.
Excuse me. Are you telling me that you would like to? Everyone has $1 billion, $1 billion, and they'll run for the presidency. Are you saying that
No,
should be a limit?
No, I don't like. No, there shouldn't be a limit. If you can raise the money,
it was the Republicans who started it.
No.
Oh, really?
I don't think so. How much money did Obama have?
You don't think so?
He was the first billion-dollar president.
Hold on.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. But so what? If you guys are the guys who started all of this, isn't he just knows how to play the game better.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is Hillary's going to have $2 billion, allegedly, in her kitty. And whoever is the Republican is going to have $800 million.
Children. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're going to do. Everyone can have $900 million.
Yeah, sounds good.
Anything over $900 million, we feed the starving children first in the U.S.
Yes.
And then we take care of the rest of the world.
Yes.
And you know how far that would go politically.
Well, but wouldn't it be nice to do that?
Well, it's not going to happen.
Well, because of the Democrats.
Excuse me. Isn't it nice? I am a Republican. Isn't it nice? You know it's not going to happen. You can say a lot of things. Nice Republican. We know it's not going to happen, right?
Yeah. Well, chances are. But that's what I'm saying is with Governor Walker, he's going to have $800 million in his kitty. He knows how to win. And that's why I support him. Well, one of the reasons. Plus, he is conservative.
You don't have anybody. Okay. Give us somebody. Christie. He's not eating donuts anymore. We know that. And I think he's lost 50 or 60 pounds.
Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah, he's getting better.
Yeah, but he has too much scandal. And then with him on the beach, hugging, when he had the flood down there, the big hurricane that came in, a lot of conservative Republicans.
Wait a minute. Hugging the president.
Yeah, they weren't too happy with that.
Because the president came down, and this is the time when you need a president to be there. And this is when a Republican who said, that's right, we really need him, and he's here, and it doesn't make any difference if he's a Republican or a Democrat.
That's
true.
So
he gives them on. Now all the conservatives go, what?
Well, I think he was a little too chummy. It's like Governor Hassan and I'm going to be cordial to Governor Hassan because I like her. I like our last governor a lot more, Lynch. Even though I didn't vote for him, but Governor Lynch was the better out of the two that you have.
Okay, wait a minute.
I'm going to be cordial, but I'm not going to go hugging him on a beach.
Hold on a second. Hold on. You just did what I don't let anybody do.
And what's that?
Yeah, well, you're pretty good at it. You went from one thing to something else.
I'm trying to make an example.
Using this as an example with not staying with Christie and the president. You can't do that here in this show.
Well,
are you aware of that? But you have been doing it because it's been brought to my attention that these shows are boring. We're boring people.
Well, who ratted me out?
A Republican ratted you out.
Probably.
Yes, well, I think I know what you mean. But that, what took place for Christie, that was really awful. Historically awful.
Yes.
And we really needed somebody there, and the president was there.
Yes. Yeah, the president did his job there.
Well, I think he'd probably get more Democrats than probably Republicans would vote for him.
Well, that's the other, the independents, which is a third of us, probably would vote for Christie. So, I guess we got to look at that.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, he's not an independent.
No, but the independent voters.
Oh, you want to be independent?
No, I don't. I'm a Republican.
Okay, but you can't be independent to the Republican Party?
No, there's a third of the independents that determine who the president's going to be. Because the Republicans are going to vote for whoever they put up.
Well, wait a minute.
Just like the Democrats.
Don't you want to be independent? Are you saying the independents have a whole little thing of their own? Is the Republicans or Democrats and the independents are separate?
Yes, they are separate.
So, but intellectually, don't you want to be independent?
Well, I am.
You're not. Look at you voting. You vote Republican right down the line.
Because that's the conservative side.
Oh, excuse me.
That's all I vote.
Excuse me. And you haven't voted on anything that you didn't really want to vote for?
There was a few bills I voted.
Really? All right, ladies and gentlemen, he wants to be an independent, but you voted for things you don't want.
There was times you have to vote.
For things you don't want. Really,
Both
things
parties
you don't want.
Oh, now, no. If there's something I do not like, I'm not voting for it.
Well,
like with the balsam bill, I hated that bill.
Okay, well, it really wasn't the balsam bill.
But that's true.
All right, okay.
But I was one of the 57.
All right, hold on a second. And I've said this, and some people have criticized me. There are times I don't want to vote with my party, but I don't want to vote against them.
Yeah,
right?
You do fairly good
now,
on that.
I know the bill is going to pass, but I don't want to vote for it. I get up and I leave the room, which is about 30 feet away.
Yeah,
the vote takes place, and I come back.
Yeah, I won't do that.
You won't do that. Instead, you'll vote for things you don't want.
No.
Are you a hypocrite?
No, I have. Look at my voting record.
Damn
I have.
Hypocrite. What are you talking about? Your voting record. You've been voting for stuff that is awful. And there's some things that are coming up. If you vote for them, and I'm going to get you right here to say you won't vote for them.
Name them off. I'll tell you what they are.
All right. By the way, this is the summer show, as you can see, where we don't have our jackets on. And our friend did go on a cruise. He is up there with all the people who won't be president. And
now, I should have had my phone right here in case I need to call him.
For what?
Well, in case you get out of line.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
He told me he'll straighten you out anytime.
Yeah, you know, we can now Skype, but I'm wondering, can we Skype with a telephone?
Oh, I don't know.
Wouldn't that be fun? So you and I basically could get up and walk around.
Yes.
Or one of us could, I suppose.
Yeah.
That'd be fascinating.
Yeah, I've Skyped on my show.
Yeah, that would be fun. Would be get somebody up there on the boat watching out.
Yeah. I wonder if it's a strong enough signal going, through the air, through cell service.
Well, we're gonna get to some New Hampshire issues, but I just have got to tell you that your Republicans, voters, have these Republican politicians, and I can tell you that your Republican voters won't vote for them. They just won't vote for them.
There are a few they will.
Who?
I think Cruz is one. He has a lot.
Cruz is, I'm not making. Look, religion to me is whatever yours is. That's fine.
Yes.
And that's how I feel. Yeah. All right, and I will respect it. You respect me. Cruz isn't like that. Just some of the religious things that he has said have been really off center.
Well, but where are you getting your information from? Hampshire?
Watching him on television.
Or Buckley?
Excuse me, I'm getting it from television. You haven't seen
from the horse's mouth.
No, I got a question. Haven't you seen Cruz say anything that you went, oh, God, I wish he wouldn't have said that?
The times I've seen him, he speaks pretty good.
You've never seen him?
He's talking about getting rid of the Department of Education, and I will sign up.
Talking about getting rid of the Department of Education. Here we go.
You say that, and I guarantee you,
Department of Education.
Half of your viewers,
or
three-quarters of your viewers are jumping up and down right now.
They are.
In happiness.
When this show plays, in a day or so, 2 days, they'll be at the doors banging and wanting to get in, thinking we're here to strangle us. So you're going to get rid of what does the Department of Education do?
It has failed our children.
No, well, what does it do?
Nothing.
Oh, it does nothing.
Of any good.
It does nothing of any good.
No.
It doesn't distribute money.
Why should I send $1 down and take 60 cents back with restrictions? Why don't I just keep my $1 here?
You know something?
Wouldn't that be right?
The great problem with what you say is if you would only say it properly, and I love you, you know that.
Yes.
We're getting to that, but we'll talk about your hot dog day.
Yeah.
All right. Is that you're going about it wrong. You should say, look, the Department of Education must be possibly cut in half or at least by a third, and here are the reasons why. Because the Department of Education does more good than bad. But up here in New Hampshire, all right, this is a big issue for us, for you guys, the Department of Education.
And I think we should dismantle the cut back.
Anything else?
On the state side.
On the
not
state
do
side.
away with it, like you said.
Well,
keep some of it.
Well, why?
But the feds
Why should
need
we
to
do
go.
that?
Because we're 17th in the world.
So we're 17th in the world for what?
Education.
Okay, so are you blaming it on the Department of Education?
Absolutely, I do.
Really?
Yep.
Not that kids are going to school. My son, as you know, is in China, who teaches English. I mean, these kids. Look, when a lot of people came to this country, you know, my grandfather came. The big thing was education.
Oh, absolutely.
Education. Well, if you think it was strong then, well, that's what built the country, were educated people, and all sorts of things, from construction to physics to everything. If you think we were strong, the kids in China, oh my God, it is awful. They probably work 12-hour days in school, 6 days a week. And then their second language is English.
Yes, yeah.
So they've got to learn English. That's an absolute, the whole country. They're so far ahead of us now.
And why is that?
In one way.
In education, they are.
They're so far ahead of us because, you know, well, you know what happens when that happens? It takes away the creativity. That's what happens when you push kids so hard.
And we have it?
No, we haven't.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
No, we haven't.
So you're agreeing with me. We need to get rid of the Department of Education and the feds.
But I just gave you an extreme. Now that's awful.
Well, I met a gentleman from, I can't remember what part of Africa. He came over here, and it was a friend of mine in Vermont. He hosted this family to come over. When I talked to them, they said if there was 100 kids in school, the top 10 kids got to go home with a good grade. If you were 89th and you still had an A, but it wasn't an A+, you went home and got whacked in that, you know, by the parents. Now, do I think that's extreme? Probably. But everybody thrived to be the best.
Well, I agree with you to a point, because I do have a teacher's protection bill. That's what it's called.
Yep.
Where a teacher, I'll give you an example. There's a fight. Two kids are fighting. So the teacher runs in and grabs both by the shirts and holds them apart. Okay? So sends them all go to the office, one behind him, one in front of him. They go to the office. So the teacher goes in to see the principal. When he comes out, the kids are sitting together. And then they say to the principal, he touched us, and we're going to sue the school.
Yes.
So all of a sudden, the teacher is what?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep. In big trouble.
So when this bill this is the third time we've put it in, and it's passed the House 3 times, and 1 vote shy in the Senate. All right?
Now,
so
where is
we're
it now?
still waiting for this one to come around. This one has not come up and gone by yet.
It has. I mean, it's got to be close.
It's close. It's very, very close to that.
But what is the Senate going to do with it this year?
Don't know. We don't know, because I'll tell you what, there was a senator there who was a teacher, an intellect teacher.
Yeah.
So she went in and found all the laws and said, we've got all the laws. And I said, well, you don't. So then the next time I went and I got all the laws. And I mimicked it, but mimicked.
Yes.
Didn't change it. Mimicked it, but I put the things in there that give the teacher a little bit more leeway. Also, that means your school departments, that's also the parents out there who have to take the money out to pay. And also, you want your kids, not, giving the teacher a problem.
Yes. Yep.
All right, so anyway.
And it always does pass the House.
So the third time I called it an amendment. We're amending the bill. Now, there's no way that they can go back and say, this is it. This is what already exists. We're now amending it. This is 6 years of making an attempt. So maybe to a point, you're correct.
So that's the problem, is we got to get some of these bills passed, especially like that one. Because, the teachers, we have great teachers. And that's why, we got to get rid of the unions.
No, you don't have to get rid of the union.
We do. There's a lot of teachers that support that talk to me.
We need the unions. I'll give you one. I can give you a case. I'll give you a case if you would like.
So why are there a ton of teachers that want to get rid of them?
Well, no, that's not factual.
That's what they're telling me.
First of all, that's not factual. The majority want the union, and there are reasons for it. Let me give you an example. Okay, kids in school. This has truly happened. I'm not going to tell you who. Kids in school, they come in from recess, and he has a little wiffle ball, and he throws it at the teacher's face 3 times. Okay?
Yep.
In the face 3 times. Teacher goes over, and the kid holds, because he's a big kid, holds it over his head, and she goes like this, takes it out, jokingly, hand behind the back. Everybody's laughing. It's a big joke.
Yeah.
Sits down. Girl in the back of the room says, Miss, you touched Tommy. Now, how does that sound? You touched Tommy. You know what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. She goes to the next class and tells the teacher, whispering, Miss of the other class touched Tommy. She gets suspended.
Yep.
Because she didn't really touch him. She forget about getting. So anyway, they want to fire her. They want to get rid of her. She didn't touch anybody like that. It was well seen. They wanted to get rid of her. They wanted to fire her. They call me up, and I go, is this really what happened? And the union guy goes, yeah, it happens all the time. He says, they just want to fire the teachers. They fire them all the time, although you may not think so. And they want to give her a bad mark, and they want to everything.
No, that's the administration.
This is the
that wants to do this.
We're with the union.
Yep.
The administration can fire teachers, believe it or not, although you may not think so.
They say that. Yep, I know they can.
So I go, no, that's not going to happen.
Well, that's where the other part.
This is where the unions come in.
We have to get rid of the administrations.
Okay. So hold on a second.
You don't think we do? We're so fat up there.
We get rid of what? The educational people in
D.C.
In D.C. We get half of them here. And then we get half of the administration.
Oh, no, I'm going to cut the administration.
It's going to be the Wild West.
I'm cutting the administration 3/4.
So anyway, let's get this over about talking about unions. Anyway, so I go, no, that's not going to happen. So they're playing phone tag, the union, and I go, no. If you want to get rid of this teacher, you're going to pay the teacher for 2 months. Oh, we're not going to do that. I said, yeah, they're not going to give her a good record either, a bad record.
Yeah.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that. I says, okay, we'll go to court. So we're going to go to court, and we're going to show the court exactly what happened, how the teacher was treated, how the administration treated the teacher, how it took the union to finally get together and say, hey, look, we all got to stop this, all right? And that's where I came in to get the bill. Anyway, this is what happened.
Yes.
This is what happened. They paid her, I believe, for 4 weeks.
Yep.
They completely erased her, as if she never taught at all in the city of Nashua.
Well, why would they do that?
Completely erased her.
But why would the teacher accept that?
Because they wanted, it was very, very dirty. Why would the teacher accept that?
Yeah.
That's the best deal we could get. First of all, she didn't want to. She didn't want that. Because look, if she would have accepted that, all right, that would have been on her record.
But why wouldn't she just fight for her job to keep it?
That's where unions come in, the unions you don't like. Let me ask you a question. If you don't have a union and a teacher has a problem, where do they go? Where do they go? You don't know.
If they do their job, they shouldn't and have good administrators.
Excuse me.
Did that
teacher do her job? Did she get hit in the face several times?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Did the little girl from the back, Mrs. touched Tommy or whomever?
Oh, yeah.
Down, they take the kids down, and the kid says, no, she really didn't. They throw her out.
Well, all I know is the teachers that I hear, and not all, because some do like the unions, are saying that is some of the problem on the education side.
Okay, now, this is where the bill I had comes in. This is by the administrations, the teachers, and the unions. They all are on for this bill because they all want this to take place. Why? They don't want things that happened to this teacher who finally left the school system, doesn't want the teacher who breaks up a fight from the administration worried about getting sued, and then this gets a bad mark on the teacher, and the teacher just breaks up the fight. So that's where my bill comes in.
Yeah. Well, I saw on YouTube one time, it was on Facebook, these two kids were beating each other really bad. And the teachers just stood there because they couldn't touch them. And I'm like, do something. But I guess they can't. Their hands are tied.
Well, the hands aren't tied. What would you, if you saw a fight, what would you do?
I would break it up.
I'd break it up. If you see a kid getting beaten up, would you break it up?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if that teacher knew probably someone was recording this, that's probably, please take out your phone and record what I'm doing so everybody will know I'm not,
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
You saw it on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of them.
So now teachers got to walk around with cameras on the...
like those police cameras.
And, I'll tell you, this is very fascinating because I said to this teacher in the union, I said, well, why don't they just put a camera that records, let's say, 7 days and then loops? Like 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, then loops. If nothing happens within that period of time, it's just, all right, but if something happens, you'll be able to see it. If a teacher goes down and says the student did this in class, there it is.
Yeah.
But guess what?
What's that?
Nobody wants it.
Why?
Including the unions.
And why is that?
I don't know.
Well, I know the rest areas, they built a couple new ones over on 91 in Vermont.
Yeah.
And they had audio and video in the not restrooms, not in the bathrooms, but in the building as you enter.
Yeah.
The ACLU came in and said, they wanted to, I think they wanted to take both of them out, but they were allowed to keep the visual, not the audio.
Well, I think, yes. I think that's right across the board anyway. I think that isn't that a federal thing. I think that's more federal.
Yeah.
You can't take the audio. In fact, there was a story of police coming to knocking on the guy's door, and the guy says, "Look, you're being recorded, and you're being, voiced, audio," and they arrested him.
Yes, but that the Fifth Circuit Court in Boston said
They threw it out.
They threw it out.
They threw it out. So,
and where police have arrested a bunch of people, and now they're just at the end of their court cases, and they're paying out. I think one lady got $53,000, the other one got like $35,000 from the taxpayers for this. So you can record a video and audio.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But we've both seen some people recording a police right in their face.
Yes.
Writing out parking tickets.
Yeah.
Like this with a camera, like this down there. There should be a space that.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, what's the space around a police officer? 10 feet? You can record at 10 feet.
Well, but what happens if you're the one recording and he approaches you and you're...
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you can't be in a person's space for no reason.
So if you came up to a speed ticket or a crime scene and the police were there, yes, I would say 10
feet away.
would be appropriate. But now, if you're part of that and you're holding your cell phone, well, that
if you're
10,
part, no.
that
If
10
you're
feet
part
needs
of
to
it,
go
no,
away.
of course that should happen. And as we know, all around the country, police officers are having kind of a tough time, but I really wish everybody would realize 99.9 are really good and important.
Yes.
And there's just 1/10% that are bad.
But they stick out like a sore thumb.
Oh, yeah, it's sure. When a police officer, it's nice to see a police officer all of a sudden, see them stop the car, pull a cat out of the tree or throw the ball a little with a kid. I mean, they do this all the time.
Yes, yep.
But that doesn't make news.
No, what makes news is down in North Carolina when that policeman, sadly, is the very few part of the police force, just levels that poor guy. He's running away.
Oh, and he shot him.
Just shot him
right in the back.
Yeah.
And a police officer who got on top of the car and shot down through the window to two unarmed people, he was just found not guilty because they thought he was, threatened for life. But I'm kind of thinking you're standing on the hood and you're shooting in. I mean.
Yeah, I think the jury got that one wrong.
Yeah, well, that's all got to straighten out. But less so, we have traveled all around the world. Let's travel around the world just a little before we get to New Hampshire.
All right.
All right. How do you think the president's doing in the Middle East? That's a tough one. If you would have asked me that, I would have. I asked you that question.
I haven't followed the Middle East. I know it's a disaster over there.
Yeah,
and it has been a disaster for 25 years.
Yes.
Or 1,000 years, really.
Yes. I
don't care who
I happen to enjoy and learn as much as I can about what's taking place. Because the next president is going to have some knowledge of what's taking place.
Yes. Now, how do you feel? Because I do believe in the death penalty.
Now, wait a minute. That's interesting. You finally got to ask a question.
Yeah.
So, wait a minute. So the next 26 minutes will be this is for golf sound.
Yes.
All right.
How do you feel about the Boston bomber getting the death penalty?
Listen, I've upset both people who want the death penalty and both people who don't want the death penalty. You see, and I've said this before, if someone killed my wife or my son, I would kill them if I had the opportunity. If they were caught before I catch them, then I want them alive as long as we can keep them alive in a cage for the rest of their life so they can enjoy a little hell on earth before they go to the big hell on.
Yes, but at a huge expense. Even though death penalty costs more.
Excuse me, a death penalty? Are you
Well,
kidding
that's
me?
only because we have so many.
A death penalty is millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, well, why can't we have it down in Texas? They got a speed lane down there.
They got to see it. Yeah, that's really working down in Texas. This really stops crime in Texas, by the way.
See, the problem I guess I have, and I haven't really followed 100% of the trial down there in Massachusetts on the Boston bomber. I guess where I would have to look at is, in my eyes, if somebody kills somebody and nobody really saw it, but there's enough evidence, that person gets life in jail. Now, if a bunch of people, a camera or whatever, catches that person, and there is zero chance that person is not, found, innocent, then give them the death penalty.
You surprised me. I thought you believed that a mother should not have abortions because of the little thing growing inside of her, right to life.
Well, I don't believe in abortion.
But you will kill somebody else?
Yes.
Do you mean life? So it's not even that. You don't believe in a right to life.
Well, how about Michael Addison?
No, wait, you don't believe in a right to life then? If you believe truly in a right to life, then you would be against the death penalty.
No.
You got to think about it.
No.
You have to think about it. And by the way, he has his own show, and you got to think about it. Okay.
No, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Now, Michael Addison is as guilty as sin.
We know that. Well, Michael Addison is the one
that killed Michael Briggs, the policeman in Manchester.
Oh, yes.
They said there is zero.
Zero.
You know, he is guilty.
Yes.
I say put him in a bathtub and throw a toaster in.
Okay.
Don't you agree? Why do we keep him?
No, I'm sorry. You either have to be right to life or you're not. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm sorry. That's the way I feel. That we get to their point when you kill somebody.
Well, then why? How can you kill somebody that killed your wife, which I hope never happens?
Well, that's what I mean.
So why would you be barbaric there?
I'm as bad as this person. In fact, then I could probably get life in jail for killing somebody who killed my wife and my son.
No, you'd get 3 years manslaughter.
3 years. That's for being, No, that's just the way I feel. I believe, honest to God, truly believe that being in a little cell for the rest of their life is hell.
Oh.
Like a little hell. And besides, you want to just off them and.
Well, what's that state out west that has the Supermax in it?
Oh, yes.
I guess they were out like an hour a day.
Yes.
Locked up for 20. That's got to be pretty cruel. Pretty harsh.
Yes. That's what I mean. I'm sorry. And that's why I get both the people against and for death penalty is mad at me. I want them in there 23 hours a day. 1 hour, I don't want them to talk to anyone. I want them to be in hell. But you guys want to off them. And I think killing people is far less painful for them for what they've done to the families, than being alive.
Yeah, I just say an eye for an eye.
All right, okay. But yet you are against abortion.
To a point.
So you're going to kill. So it's okay to kill those who are alive and kill others.
Well, if they deserve it.
No. Well, okay. Look, there's some pretty awful things taking place, and the bombers are hard one because it's so close to us here. We're in New Hampshire.
Well, it's like those drones over in the Middle East, as you were talking about the Middle East. I mean, those drones are killing innocent people all the time. We got to fix that, and I don't know how.
Drones killing innocent people.
That's what I'm hearing.
Well,
I heard it.
You just told me you were not an overseas person. You were. Now, all of a sudden, drones are killing people?
Well, I mean, from what I'm reading.
Hey, let's get them and take care of the Department of Education.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Well, I guarantee you,
we better not say that. We didn't mean that. We honestly, this is just, we don't mean that.
Well, what's funny is I have friends that probably would agree with you. I got friends that scare me. And I'm pretty conservative.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Everybody thinks I'm this big gun nut, and I'm not.
You are.
I don't own that many guns.
You don't own.
Well, when I show up at one of my friend's house and he has a rocket launcher.
A rocket launcher?
It's one of those big things that you put on.
You mean he could take down a plane? Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
And I said, where do you get that? You aren't going to Sam's Club. And buying that. And he goes, they're available.
Dick's
Sport is good. But,
those flying deer, we've got to get them. When 80 deer get together and they can go like this and fly, we need a rocket launcher.
Well, I did this work for this one guy. He had a safe, room that was a safe. And he opens up, he was in this old farmhouse, and he opens up the old, remember the glass handles of the knobs, the old white, ceramic knobs.
Well, yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah, those are really, so this is how old the farmhouse.
Yeah, okay.
He opens it up, and here's this steel door, and I'm looking, going, whoa.
What's behind that?
Beep, beep, beep.
You're kidding me.
He opens it up, and we go into this room. And,
in this room?
Yeah, it was a full room.
You mean to tell me there was there a door?
Yeah, the front door, the actual, we're in the center of the house.
Yes.
And he has this one room that is all Civil War, both sides.
Okay.
Unbelievable stuff. Okay. I'm like, just in awe.
All right.
Well, then we go to this middle room. It's like in the middle of the house. And that's when he opens up the old farmhouse door.
All right.
And on the other side of that is this safe door.
Okay.
So he built this room that's a safe.
So then you open up and you like walk in the safe.
Yes. And I'm walking in, and it's a room this size.
You're kidding me.
It's huge.
So it had to be all
And he has 3 Uzis in there, machine guns. One of them, he said, cost $35,000. He's never fired it. And I said, how can you own a Uzi and not fire it? Because I love shooting guns. And he goes, well, it would take the value away.
Value away?
And I'm like, really? Yeah.
That guy with a rocket launcher, I think that's illegal. You want to change your mind?
I think he can.
You can own a rocket launcher.
Well, I don't know if it was a rocket launcher, but that's what it looked like.
You told me it was a rocket. Put it up here and you shoot it.
Yeah.
And you know guns, and I don't.
And he says...
And I know they can take down flying deer.
They're readily
that.
available. He said if you can buy them legally.
You can't buy a rocket launcher legally.
Just like machine guns. You can buy machine guns.
You guys drive me nuts. You can go out and buy a rocket launcher. Can you buy a machine gun? I think, don't you need a license for those?
Yes, and I would imagine he got a license for this thing.
For what? The flying deer? I was joking about that.
I don't know why he has it.
No, I think that's come on now. I'm for the Second Amendment, but I think, all right, the rocket launcher, the person's a little off.
Well, I think we should have anything that the military has.
You really think we should have?
Absolutely.
So we should have a couple nukes, huh?
Well,
we should own nukes. Here is a person.
Okay, I'll draw the line on the nukes.
Let's get rid of the Department of Education and have nukes. Boy, oh boy.
Now, you do know they are going to come through the door and get us.
You know.
Al's going to have to do the show all by himself next week.
What do the people in your town say, Goffstown? Do they know you want to give nukes?
I get elected.
Let's pass out nukes.
No, I beat an incumbent Democrat last time by almost 1,100 votes.
But they didn't know you. That's the problem.
They do. They love my TV show.
Oh, that was it.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's what my friend Dick up there said. He said the only reason I win is because of GTV.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's true or not.
Well, I haven't got many votes on it doing this, but...
Oh, I think you do. I bet you do.
Well, I'm sure I do, but
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what. If I run again, I would just say to the individual, opponent, come and sit down. I'll give you the hour just to interview you and not even say that I'm a candidate. I've done this before. I've done that before on radio.
See, I can't get no Democrats in my town to come on my show.
I can't get any Democrats to come on my show.
Why? What's wrong with you guys?
It's not wrong with me. There is a real hatred against both parties, Republican and Democrat. We both know that.
Yes.
All right? And it gets
is.
so strong that I'm criticized. When Bill O'Brien was here, it was awful what I went through. And I said to Bill, you better keep coming because I've lost all my friends. And he did. We did 31 shows, etc. And then he gave me El Baldessaro. I still send him an email once a day. Dear Bill, would you take me away? Well, we've got about 15 minutes left, and we weren't sure we're going to be able to do an hour, and we've got a couple bills coming up. What's coming up for bills that you...
out of my committee?
That are coming up?
I just have one bill, and I'm trying to think what it was. Oh, it's to fix the fine structure on anybody over 70 miles an hour.
What do you mean, fix it?
Right now, the law says anybody over 65 miles an hour on our highways, 1 to, say, 16 miles is $65, and then they go up through. What it does is this bill says anybody at the 70-mile zone, which we now have up north, there is a part of the highway that travels at 70. And there was no fee structure if you got pulled over, so they were using the 65 mile an hour. And the courts really wanted us to fix that, and we did.
And we did talk about electric cars, I believe.
Well, not in criminal justice.
No, excuse me. I've talked about electric cars. How do they charge?
Yeah, they need to start charging now.
How?
I heard some states are, I'd have to look at if it works. Some states are doing miles.
Really?
Yeah, or they're looking at doing miles. So if you drive 5,000 miles, you pay a fee for that. They figure up
which would be in line to
a gas tax.
Okay.
Your toll tax.
Yeah.
If you drive 10,000 miles, then it's this much money. And because we have to do something about it, because they're driving on the roads and they're not paying a nickel.
Well, okay, I'll give you a bill, then we're going to talk about what's happening with your hot dog day, and we're closing down basically for the year. We're coming up to the point. I hope I'm on. I put another bill in to study the amount of money, the revenue flows of arts coming in, and I'm not even sure if they even put me on the committee.
Oh, does that go to a committee of conference?
I haven't found out. I've gone and it came out of my committee, and I said one person from Commerce, so they put one person, and they took it to the Senate. I had 8 people. Now there's like 16 people, 20 people involved with this, which you're not going to get much done.
Yeah, no, not with that many.
So that's what. But anyway, one bill that I think everybody has got to pay attention to this. Now, everybody wants to bring more business to the state of New Hampshire.
Yes.
We agree.
Yes.
We'll do almost anything to do that.
Yes.
Okay, so somebody goes up to get a name from the Secretary of State's office. They go to get a trade name.
Yep.
And they can't get it. They can't get it because there were 2 basic things that were like computers and electricity. Those were you can't get a trade name unless it was Joe's, So they got upset, so they decided what they were going to do is they were going to change that. So in comes from the Senate that they're going to make it easier for people to get trade names. Make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
We're going to bring a lot of people in. Aha. So, Dunkin' Donuts, I can go and get Dunkin' Donut. That make any sense? That a little close?
I think that is.
Can you think of a coffee place, another coffee place that's pretty, besides Dunkin' Donuts? Okay. Can you think of do you have a local restaurant that you go to? Jim's or Tim's or somebody like that?
Yeah.
Well, how about if it was Jim's restaurant, they have Jim restaurant right next door.
Yeah, I think that's close.
Well, that's not close. In New Hampshire, this is the best one. If I take New Hampshire and misspell 2 letters just in the middle, just change it, I can go up and I get a trade name on that.
Even today?
Yeah, no, not today.
Okay.
When this bill passes.
Yes.
All right. And I can get that, and when you look at it, you can see New Hampshire, you're going to say, well, the idiot can't spell right, but it is New Hampshire. Now, I can write anything I want to about New Hampshire. Well, on my New Hampshire.
Yes.
Does that make any sense to you? Someone could get a trade name for New Hampshire, and all of a sudden, when they start pressing in New Hampshire halfway through, they could possibly. Do you think that makes any sense?
Well, they'd have to, I think they have to have some restriction, because like Jim or Jim's, that's really close.
No, there are no restrictions.
That's what they want?
0 restrictions. In fact,
and this is a
I
Senate
could
bill.
possibly get Dunkin' Donuts. Donuts.
Yeah, see, I just,
you can get anything if it's an S before or an S after. So I'm telling you, we cannot let this bill pass. You're not going to bring good business up.
And this was in Commerce?
This is in Commerce. It came out. It was a Senate bill. It came out.
Now, Dan McGuire's tried this in the past, and it's been killed.
Yes, well, Dan McGuire has. And
it's been killed every time.
It came into the same thing, that how do you go about this? Where you have to have a restriction. So instead of having any restrictions, they decided to have no restrictions.
Yeah, no, we got to have some.
So that means I literally can have Dunkin' Donut.
Now, was any businesses complaining about this?
Nobody knows about it.
Oh, they don't know about the bill?
Nobody knows about it. It's like one of those bills that no one's, no businesses.
Now, I do understand. I used to own Burt's Tree Service, and I still register the trade name.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted Burt's, tree, I think it was Treescape or something. And they said it was too close, so they disallowed it.
True. But now you got Burt's Tree Service.
Yeah.
They can have Burt Tree Service. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, see, I'd want to protect my name, and that's not protecting it.
Well, if this bill passes, ladies and gentlemen, and it's passed, by the way, I believe it was like 17-0 or something like that, or 15 or something, and I was the person.
Now, are you going to argue it on the House floor?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, good.
I certainly am going to argue. I got a couple I'm going to argue. Spoofing is another one.
What's that?
Well, spoofing is, we had one today. IRS calling and for Mr. Kenneth Gidge, and this is a recording, and you call us at the IRS telephone number, and they give me a telephone number. And in fact, that happened to El Baldessaro. And then you get on there, then you're worried about it, and so, well, it's only $800, and I don't want to get so people send in the money. That's called spoofing. And using IRS telephone numbers.
Oh, yes, I did hear about that.
My telephone number. My telephone number rings.
On the
my number
caller
comes
ID.
up.
Yeah.
My caller ID. And I think there's
Ken
something
Gidge.
wrong with the phone.
Yeah.
And they say it's somebody else.
Yeah.
And I'm going, it can't be. So that's spoofing. And guess what? That's okay. People can do that. People can now take somebody else's number.
Well, what bill is that? Is that a bill?
That's a bill. That's right. Spoofing is 223, and your Republicans are the ones who passed it inside Commerce.
Well, I get along good with the chair, but I wouldn't say he votes like me a lot.
No, he handles his Republicans, but these are some really dumb things.
So this is going to allow spoofing.
Yeah.
Bill.
Well, no, you can do it. Someone brought the bill to stop it.
Oh, and where's the bill? He killed it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, but it's going to be in front of us, so I'm going to vote for it.
You're going to get up and speak. We're going to get up. Can we?
All right,
can we both get up together and speak at the same time?
spoofing one.
I mean, can two representatives get up there and speak at the same time?
Oh, Representative Bartlett and I got up and fight on a couple bills.
Well, I mean, standing right there. We ought to try that.
We should.
But this time we are for the same thing.
Yes, on that.
That ought to be fun.
That should.
No,
sign me up.
You're going to lose some friends. And I might make one or two.
Yeah.
Who knows? All right. Now, we have one more session. Is this correct? Or possibly two more sessions?
Well, June 3rd, I heard. June 11th, which is Thursday, we have to meet. And then that way the Senate is going to be there and they can send bills
we'll go back and forth.
And then I heard we're coming on the 24th.
Okay, so we'll be done by June.
Yes, we're done. Yeah, or if we don't, as long as we pass the budget.
Yes, yeah, that's correct. But also, like, I may be on two committees, which are looking, at the arts and one other. And so I'll be working all summer.
Yes.
I worked on and I've also told this, I've worked on studying the Liquor Commission.
And what would that do?
Well, we studied it because there was lossage, et cetera, and Bill O'Brien really wanted to know, and he put me on that. Well, of course, there was only four of us, and the rest were all Republicans. Okay, and that ended. This is true. That ended. We ended the session on our committee a day after the election.
Oh, yeah.
And a couple people didn't come up for that last day. So we worked all summer.
Yeah.
Now we have coming up what is which is good. Both Republicans and Democrats like this, and this is for you have done what is called Hot Dog Day. Explain that to people.
What Hot Dog Day does is it was over a campfire bill. I wanted to repeal campfire permits if they're 2 feet or smaller. I almost won that, to overturn it. Sadly, I lost. Well, I got on the House floor and I offered everybody that if they vote with me, I'll have a campfire without a permit, and I'll give you a hot dog. Well, somebody told me that I bribed 400 reps, and I guess you're not allowed to do that.
You did do it.
Yes.
You did bribe 400 reps.
I did.
And you didn't even get punished.
No,
That's because they were all hungry.
Well, that's it. Well, so then I get back on the house floor, and I said, all right, I guess I was a bad boy. I'm sorry. I'll invite everybody. And that's how Hot Dog Day started. And so now it's June 3rd.
Yeah.
This is going to be this year. And with ethics, which I love because it keeps New Hampshire a non-corrupt state.
Okay, go ahead.
So what they do is I cannot collect the money to help pay for this because it's very expensive to put Hot Dog Day on.
Yes.
You know, because last year I gave almost 900 hot dogs away, and almost 600 or about 550 people showed up.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yes.
This year I'm expecting a little more.
Yeah.
So I have a dog group, a nonprofit dog group, collect all the money that I go out and other people go out and try to ask for on behalf of this year. It's the Cocheco Valley Humane Society over in Dover.
Oh, I see.
Yes, and so they collect all the money, and then at the end, they pay for the hot dogs and anything that I can't get donated. Not one tax dollar is used because I just went to Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola said that they'll donate the soda this year. And when I was throwing the stuff in on my pickup, the guy goes, oh, so this is on the State House lawn, so the taxpayers are paying for this. I said, no, not $1 is used from the taxpayers, not one. I said, it's all donated stuff. It's just out of my, I want to get all the Republicans and Democrats like you and I out on the front lawn in El Baldacero. I want to see you guys shaking hands and getting along and having a hot dog with me.
And that's really good. And we should do more of that.
We should.
We don't do enough of it. We don't get along. That's one of the reasons why for this show. Yeah. When I started the show, I was having a hard time getting anybody, Democrats, and I said, let's go to Republicans. And I've had fun ever since.
Yes.
Well,
it's real easy for Al to beat you up because, Al is always right.
Well, I said, the last time he was on, I said, Al, you haven't taken out, the Constitution of the state of New Hampshire and of America. And he goes, takes them out, throws them down. So, no, I like Al. Al's good. Al is really a hard worker.
He is.
He came in one day with the Boston Globe. Of all the Republicans, you must pay attention to if you want to get voted in as a Republican candidate for president. Yeah. Baldacero was B. So he's like the third one in on the whole colored page. Oh my God. And you got into Harvard. We talk about that.
Oh, yes.
We got 55 seconds. How can people get in touch with you?
Just, they can email me at john@burtnh.com or look up my website, burtnh.com, and that's B-U-R-T.
And people can get me by Gidge World. Also, I'm on Instagram now, which is fun. That's really fun.
I got to try that.
Yeah, you go to Gidge World and you'll see a lot of the stuff that I'm doing and things that we have done. Well, listen, this has really been fun.
Yes.
And I've enjoyed you for these 3 times. And if he goes away, and you've got to invite me up to your place.
Yes,
cheap.
yes.
I'll tell you. All right, we got 14 seconds left. Thank you very much, and we will see. We worked hard this year.
We have.
Up there. So, folks, believe us, we do work hard. We get paid a lot of money, $100 a year. So thank you very much, and see you next time.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.